When you retire, you may get a chance to go to football heaven. This is football heaven.
Hello and welcome to The Mission. I'm your host, Jameer Howerton. And as we continue on our road to excellence, we're so honored this week to be catching up with finalists for this year's 2021 class of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And joining me today is Pittsburgh Steelers legend, where he also played with the New York Jets and finished his career with the Arizona Cardinals. Today, we get a chance to catch up with no other than offensive guard, Mr. Alan Faneca. Alan, how are you doing, sir?
Doing good. How's it going today?
I'm doing well, man. Before we dive in and talk about your legacy, your football playing career in front of the Pittsburgh Steelers faithfuls, I have to talk about last night's game, Sunday night primetime game, Browns Steelers matchup. What are your thoughts about the game?
It's a disappointment. First off, being a part of the Steeler Nation, it is a disappointment, man. Anytime you lose in the playoffs, it's so final, man. It's painful, no matter how you got there, what your expectations are. But just crazy, man. Just, a lot of time left, but all of a sudden they're down 28 points so fast. It's you have to play perfect football after that almost. And I knew it was going to be hard, man. I just knew it was going to be hard.
Losing is one thing, but losing to the rivalry, the Cleveland Browns, and I know over the course of the years, it's kind of like, well, the Steelers have had the best of that battle. But do you feel like last night's game kind of re-stoked the fire, if you will, the little brother beating the big brother?
It's even as few times as the Browns have won, I think the fire's always been stoked, man.
Okay.
We're too closely to each other, the two cities, man. It's always no love lost between the two teams and the two towns. I think it's always been there. But for sure, people in Cleveland are pounding their chest today, and we'll be all off season. So. That's something Pittsburgh's going to have to live with.
And speaking of the offseason, no one wants to go out like that. And you look at Big Ben, he's such a phenomenal competitor. Is it safe to say that Steelers faithfuls will be watching his movements during this offseason?
Sure, man. I think I can think back to, anytime when you've played as long as Ben's played, man, when you get up there, man, you got to take a deep breath, man, and you don't, I can remember when I was in New York and we lost to the Colts in the championship game, and you just sit there in the locker room, man, because you don't really know. You don't know if you're going to get back there again. You just enjoy the moment. Just regardless if it's the last one, there's not many more of them. So you start to take stock in things and enjoy things and savor the moment, good or bad. You're still, there's no fans there, but generally, you're in the fans. 70. You don't get to play this game. Nobody gets to go to work and play, do their job in front of 70,000 people, man. You never get that again. So you just savor the moment and process later.
Speaking of that, there was really not that many fans in the stands, and how much do you think that has changed the tempo of the game, not having the fans in the stands this year?
It's got to be a challenge for players to living off of the crowd, right? Especially road games, man. When you silence 70,000 people, man, that's just as powering as being at home, and they're all cheering for you. So it's that ebb and flow and the silence, like it's a practice. It's just got to be weird.
It's nothing like being in Heinz Field and you hear, "Oh, mother," and that doom, 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 and those terrible towels are swinging. I mean, they really wouldn't need that last night.
I know. I heard it a little bit, and I was like, man, that's not the same when an empty stadium doesn't have the same effect.
Wow. Well, we'll keep a close eye on that battle as that progresses. But diving into your career, man, once again, congratulations is so in order. And just looking at the memorabilia behind you, those pictures, 66. You know, what does that mean to be a finalist in this year's class again?
It's always special. It's always, you know, you get taken aback a little bit, you know what I mean? Because there's, you know, just on the other side of the fence, man, all the guys that are in the Hall of Fame, man, just to be with those guys and to be with those guys and have the potential to join those guys, you know, it's something special, man. Kids you watch growing up, you know, players you watched as a kid growing up, to guys you watched on TV that are just true legends of the game who brought the game to where it is today and started it all. It's amazing.
When you look back at your football career, what are there some games, some moments that to this very day that stay with you, that stick with you, that you find yourself, wow, remembering and, you know, maybe wanting to replay that play again, or just like sitting back like, wow, I got the best of that guy?
Well, you know, they did a replay of our last playoff game with the Browns this week, and I just happened to catch it. And so I sat down and watched it, man, and did a couple rewinds and told the kids to come in here and watch Dad on this one because I got the best of somebody. But I got a buddy that's a Browns fan, and you know, I hit him up, let him know that the game was on, just to kind of, you know, rub it in a little bit. And so we had a little bit of a back and forth. And I said, man, so you know what? I said, I really don't miss football. You miss playoff times. You miss the guys in the locker room, man. But, you know, you kind of, when you do it for as long as I did, you know, you kind of hit that, all right, it's time to just do something else. So my body's done with this. But I said, I don't miss football, but I will do anything to be in that locker room again right now where they are, you know, on the game on TV, because that's what it's all about, man, being with the guys and enjoying those special moments.
Well, I want to kind of, if we will, let's go in the locker room and talk about some of the special moments, because we have some testimonials from a few of your teammates and your coach that I'd like to just get your reflections on their testimonials. And one of your coaches, who's a Pro Football Hall of Famer, Mike Munchak, mentioned how he compared you to Larry Allen, Will Shields. He says you are the best in his decade. What does that mean to you? And what did you learn from a Coach Munchak?
Well, you know, I didn't play for Munch, but I coached a couple of off seasons with him in Pittsburgh and got to spend a lot of time with him. We got to have a lot of chats, man, and about back in the day and today. But you know, he's one of those guys in there, man. He's got the gold jacket on, and to hear him say something like that, just because of who he was as a player, but the respect I had for him and his knowledge of the game, it means a lot, man. It does. I mean, it's you know, a lot of the stuff, man, it leaves you speechless. You know what I mean? It's just it leaves you a little bit speechless.
Jerome Bettis, your teammate, blocking for him. Not only do I want to know what it was like blocking for him and being in the huddle and practicing alongside a warrior such as himself, but he says hands down, he was equally as good in the passing game as well in the blocking game, and that's hard to do in today's game. But he is the best offensive guard in NFL history.
Man, I don't know about that, but like, man, that's special, man. I love Jerome, man. I love playing with him, man. He's such a warrior and such a competitor, man. Loved blocking for him, man, and hitting them holes. And when he'd pop up and do his little shimmy and dance after he just bowled over three guys, and man, those are good times.
What do you remember about that Super Bowl in Detroit as he had his final send-off? I mean, how great is that? You can't write a better ticket than that.
We had to do it for him, man. We had to do it for Jerome, man, to send him off like that. And, you know, we had to do a little coaxing to get him come back that last year to give us one more shot to send him out the right way.
One of your competitors, Ray Lewis, used to tell his guys up front, he says, hey, man, stay on Alan Faneca because I don't want him to get to the next tier to get to me. What were those battles like? We talked about the Cleveland Browns, but the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers, I don't care what you say, for a while there, you had to go through those two teams in order to get to the Super Bowl.
Definitely, man. You know, man, Ray and I, man, we had some great battles. You know, a lot of it's a lot of chess match, man. It's so much of it is like chess, thinking game, and I love that aspect of the game, man. Just trying to the tricking and the just to try and get a little bit of an edge on somebody, man. And Ray was the best at it there for a long time, man. And we had lots of battles. And Ray and I had a discussion down in Miami at the Super Bowl. And, it's a long conversation, man. But I was like, man, I said, Ray, actually, he knew what I was doing, man. He knew exactly my game to a T. I've never heard anybody describe my game. That's how I thought my game was. And he had me down to a T, man. He knew what I was trying to do, and he was trying to stop it. And, we talked about some old games and stuff like that. But man, he was great, man. He was definitely fun to play against.
And lastly, Larry Fitzgerald, who is arguably a future Hall of Famer. He says that when I was playing at the University of Pittsburgh for 2 years, I got a chance to be there because our facilities were connected. He says, I saw him in the lunchroom. I saw him at practice. I saw him doing the work he was doing there in Pittsburgh. Then to be able to play with him was a great honor.
Yeah, man. It was great for me, man, to play, spend that year with Larry out there in Arizona, man. He's such a competitor, man. People see him doing great things out there on Sundays out on the field, man, but he's such a competitor, man. He's out there on the practice field doing the same things, man, diving, laying out, man. That ball comes near, man, he's going forward, man. And he's a truly special player. And like you said, man, he's not too far off from whenever he decides to stop playing, putting on the gold jacket.
You mentioned before how Ray Lewis kind of pegged your game, but tell us, what did you model your game after? How would you describe your game?
Man, my game was, I think smarts. I had a good grasp of where to give a nudge, where to give a bump, where to help a guy out, where to like kind of discount a guy. He's out of the game. I can cheat him. He's gone. I can go to somewhere else. I used a lot of those in my tactics, man. And you use my whole toolbox, as Will Shields would say, man. Dig in that toolbox and use something, man, or add something to it. So, I used a lot of that to my knowledge, man. I think I had a good game in the pulling game, and we definitely used it in Pittsburgh. Got me out in space a lot and let me move around. And like I said, I think a lot of that when I was out in space, it's you're moving, things are happening fast, and you got to make quick decisions. You got to be able to figure things out. And I think that was some of the things that let me do good things out in space.
Larry Fitzgerald also said in his comment, like, I don't know if you've seen Allen most recently, but he doesn't look like an offensive lineman. And as I'm looking at you still, having an opportunity to talk to you last year around this time, you still look phenomenal. What are some of the things that you're doing to stay in shape?
Oh man, I do some running. I do a lot of Peloton on the bike, man, and I've kind of gotten hooked on that and slowed down on the running so much. The Peloton's just too easy, man. I hop on it, ride it, man. Hook up with a buddy and challenge a buddy on there and get after it. So, I just try and stay busy, man. Use it or lose it, and just try and keep moving forward.
Now, Allen, as we look back at last week, what was it like for you again to receive that phone call from CEO, President of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, David Baker?
I always enjoy talking to David. Good guy, great guy. It kind of every year it seems to kind of that phone call from David always kind of catches me, in the middle of something or just off guard. And it's like, oh, here we go again. Let's do it. So it's exciting, man. It definitely is exciting. And you tell my kids, I got 6, 9, and 15, so they're all excited, jumping around, and they love the process. And they're old enough now; they know what it means. We've gone to the NFL experience and seen the mobile display, the bus and everything that they have out there. And like, that's what we're here for. Dad might have one of those one day. So they get excited, man. They enjoy it, and it's a good family process.
And as we're still working with the National Football League on how the process will go, but if elected into the 2020 class of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, is it safe to say that Allen would be willing to travel to Tampa this year?
I'm getting on the plane. Let's go.
And you look at the COVID protocols. I understand, if you don't mind sharing, you went through that process, like as well as your other as your fellow finalist Tony Baselli had contracted the virus as well. How was that for you?
My youngest daughter and I both got it. Who knows how? I was very asymptomatic. You know, it didn't. You know, had a little sore throat and just kind of went around about my business. It you know, I was very fortunate to really have very, very mild symptoms, and I totally can understand how people can have it and just go about their day, and you would be transmitting it because if COVID wasn't going on, I would have never slowed down and done anything. I would have just kept on moving.
Wow. Well, last and finally, man, we're pulling for you. We hope the best for you. But just when you really kind of like put that one finger on it, what would this honor mean to you if you do receive, be it the knock, the phone call, however, that you are selected into this year's class?
Man, it's a culmination of everything, man. I think, it's like when we won the Super Bowl, it's a culmination of like everything from like Pee Wee ball to that point, right? Like, cause you grow up playing Nerf ball in the yard, man. You're playing with your buddies, pretending you're in the Super Bowl, man. It's all that work, even from the front yard Nerf game to the practices and the off season and everything, and then the failures and the postseason to build up to that and winning that Super Bowl, man. It was everything, and this is more than that. This is everything beyond that. So it's huge, man. It's I couldn't imagine. I don't even know what the feeling would be like, especially being so close these last couple of years. But it'd be special, man. It'd be really special. And is going through this process a couple of years in a row, man. I almost wish it for my kids and my wife and my family more than me, man, because it's hard when you get that close and you get the phone call and not the knock.
Alan, when you were going through the process of finding out that you were part of the 15 list, who were some of the people that called you to congratulate you, if you don't mind asking?
Oh, man, so many guys, Jerome being one of them, but, lots of my buddies, man, guys I played with, everybody reaches out and, wishes me the best and all that stuff. So, it's a good reason, man. It's another reason, man. We don't reach out to each other enough and talk and conversate. So, it gets that ball rolling and you catch up with guys that maybe hadn't caught up with in a little while. So it's good stuff.
And with the Pro Football Hall of Fame sort of being in your backyard throughout your career, did you ever make it to the Hall? And if so, what was that experience like for you?
We made it when I played in the Hall of Fame game. I think we took a trip. I played twice, but I think my first time we went and got to go in and take a little tour, a quick tour, and impressive, and just awe-inspiring to be around and with those guys. Walking through the bus, and I hear nothing but great things about how it's changed and grown. So excited to get back again.
When you were walking through that bust gallery, who was that one bust that you wanted to see, and when that one Hall of Famer that you were just in awe of, and as a young kid growing up, you modeled your game after him?
Well, I didn't model my game after him, but being in Pittsburgh and a new guy in Pittsburgh, man, I was looking up to go see Mean Joe, man. I wanted to go see his bust and check him out and just see what he was doing there, man. See how it looked, and having met him a little bit already, so that was the one guy I wanted to go check out.
Great stuff, Alan. Well, once again, thank you for joining us right here on The Mission. For Alan Faneca, I'm Jameer Howerton. We'll see you next time.